to talk to you about 6G, hand implants and brain implants. But beforehand, I wanted to talk about, Black Lives Matter, which they do. I was watching John X Army's YouTube channel yesterday, and he claims an attorney's come out and said that George Floyd died in 2016. To suppress this, basically put, what they've done is they've taken down the video or the actual Twitter tweet completely. So that begs the question, if that person that was murdered is not George Floyd, who is he? And why are we not actually hearing about his name and people rioting over him specifically? Just a thought, that's all, But then I thought, let's talk about COVID-19 just briefly. It's been statistically proven that black, Asian, minority ethnic backgrounds are severely hampered by the COVID-19. They got pre-existing conditions, obviously. But I thought to myself, well, why would that be? Then I thought, maybe, just maybe, they can't fight it off. Or maybe there must be something else. So then I read this. Have a listen to this. Breaking COVID news. Italy has allegedly discovered COVID is not a virus but a bacterium. It clots the blood and reduces the oxygen saturation from dispersing throughout the body. Now I thought to myself, maybe, just maybe, black, Africans, or whoever, or ethnic minorities might actually have blood that congeals at a higher rate than Caucasians. Just a thought, that's all. They went against the World Health Organizations that no bodies be autopsied. When the Italian Ministry of Health ordered many autopsies, they found the blood was clotted in all of the patient's veins. It means congealed completely. So to fight this, you have to have thin blood. So this is probably why they're giving everyone remdesivir, hydroxychloroquine, chloroquine, and all these other antiviral drugs. Because what they do is they thin the blood. They help you fight it. So hepatitis is a bloodborne disease. So quite frankly, if you've got hepatitis, you are statistically more at risk of catching COVID-19 and dying than you are if you don't have hepatitis. There's also this bit about obesity and things. I don't believe that, because basically put, if it was just obesity, then everyone who was obese must have hepatitis or some sort of disease. They may find it hard to move around a bit, and that may actually help reduce the immunity to COVID-19, but that doesn't necessarily mean that basically put that they are statistically higher of dying. They could have pre-existing conditions. As I mentioned before, remdesivir had serious side effects, heart failure, and so many others. So all of these drugs that you take have the propensity of actually doing harm to yourself with even more side effects. But then I thought to myself, I read something online. I thought, oh, that can't be right. 6G. I thought, wow. Listen to this. What is 6G? It could make 5G look like 2G, but it's not even close to reality. Correction. 2 weeks ago in China, they signed off on a scheme for 6G to hopefully be the first to have it by 2022. This was after Japan had done exactly the same thing and signed off about researching 6G. Now, what's the difference between 5G and 6G? Well, I was looking at the towers they were putting up, and I thought, why has that tower come from having just one little beam on it to having 8, 9, 10? You know, I don't know whether you've seen them or whatever, but you can't miss them. And they seem to have so many antennas on them. And I thought to myself, why is that? Why can that be? 5G is not that fast at all, really, is it? Well, a study found that the highest recorded 5G output was 205 megabytes per second. That was on the EE network. So what is 6G? Well, listen to this. That hasn't stopped experts guessing how fast 6G will be. One of the most often quoted is Dr. Mayo from the University of Sydney, who claims 6G could deliver mind-boggling speeds of 1 terabyte per second, or 8,000 gigabytes per second. Forget one movie download in a few seconds from Netflix with 5G. With 6G speeds like that, in just 1 second, you could download 142 hours of Netflix movies in a blink of an eye. Other papers, or was it in this one? Oh yeah. Also, it says it doesn't stop there. Both Samsung and LG have 6G research centers in South Korea. And SK Telecom, Nokia and Ericsson are collaborating on a 6G research project in its Canadian research centres. So before we've even got 5G rolled out in the UK, 6G is coming. Mark my words, it is coming. China starts development on 6G, having just turned on its 5G mobile network. When was this? Published Thursday, November the 7th, 2019. So the Chinese are miles ahead of everyone else when it comes to developing things quicker than anyone else. And if you're in America, Donald Trump is already wanting to beat the Chinese to 6G. So that means if China wants it by 2022, America wants it by 2022 also. I think this is the one where it mentioned... Oh yeah. Mobile networks, particularly 5G, have become a politicised topic between the US and China. Huawei, the world's largest telecommunications equipment maker, has been in the crosshairs of the US. Washington has accused the Chinese firm of being a national security risk, claiming its gear could be used by the Chinese government to spy on Americans. Huawei has repeatedly denied these claims. Still, China is pushing on with 6G as it sees the technology being of great importance in the future. Great importance in the future. We'll come to that in a bit. Here we go. So here we have it. Get ready for upcoming 6G Wireless 2. Researchers exploring 5G's ultimate replacement. Terahertz-based 6G. Terahertz. So remember, it's 205 megabytes per second. Yeah. That's per second on 5G. Listen to this. High frequencies in the range of 100 gigahertz or 1 terahertz will be used for 100 gigabyte per second 6G. That's 100 gigabytes. That's nearly 2,000 times if you work it out. Yeah. Oh no, nearly. Well, how many terabytes? I don't know how many it works out, but it's nearly 2 times the amount faster and quicker than anything before. But what's the difference with 6G? Here we go. Extreme disinfection of communication systems enable hundreds and even thousands of simultaneous wireless connections. That's what these towers are for. They are wireless connections. Will be part of it. The researchers claim with 10 to 1,000 times higher capacity than the nearer term 5G systems and network. These towers are bigger because what they're going to try and put out is higher. But you have to remember also, yeah, it says wireless connections. So there you go. Bye-bye router. Don't need you no more. But who are these people doing this? These are all tech people. Yeah? I mean, if you look at COVID-19 so far, who's the biggest proponent of the whole thing? Bill Gates. Microsoft. Yeah? All of these are tech people. Technology is taking over your world. You think that's a lie? Here we go. Technology continues to get closer and closer to our bodies. From the phones in our pockets to the smartwatches on our wrists. Now for some people, it's getting under their skin. Yeah, under their skin. In Sweden, a country rich with technological advancement, thousands have had microchips inserted into their hands. Yeah. If you have any idea of what Revelation 13:17 says, then you will see what I'm talking about. They also can be used to store emergency contacts, details, social media profiles or e-tickets for events and rail journeys within Sweden. Proponents of the tiny chips say they're safe and largely protected from hacking. That doesn't mean they're foolproof. But one scientist is raising privacy concerns around the kind of personal health data that might be stored on the devices. Saying, oh, you're ill. We know you're ill. You can't do this. You can't do that. So you're thinking to yourself, all right, fair enough. What will that mean to us? Well, recently we've come across the fact that, you know, people are rioting and everything else. And I believe now this is the start of all this. I really believe this is the start of every single thing that they want to bring in by 2030. Because not only are they researching 7G, they're also starting to look into the possibility of having 8G technology by 2030. So what does it mean? Well, listen to this. China first with citizen RFID, radio frequency ID implants. Beijing, March the 19th, 2010. That's 10 years ago. A press release issued by the Chinese government today announced the countrywide implementation of a new high-tech tracking initiative designed to increase security and prosperity for all the citizens of the Republic of China. The plan, detailed by Zhu Bokai, Chief Executive of China's Ministry of Public Security, will involve the implantation of long-range, high-frequency radio frequency ID devices in every one of China's estimated 1.4 billion citizens. Identity cards can be lost or stolen, but RFID chip implants in spine is very hard to gain access to without sharp knife or other cutting tool. After the operation, every citizen of Free Democratic Republic of China will feel more secure, and citizens' rights and continued upward progress of our nation is assured. It says, according to Mr. Kai, bad human rights is bad for trade. Very important to China, they are a means for which government assure every citizen can be quickly located, day or night. They are means for which government assure every citizen can be quickly located, day or night, by gathering in small group, or whether they gather in small groups to express support and liberation of Communist Party, working every day to strengthen China's economic output, or limiting their reproduction to a single child per family. It is for the freedom, happiness and prosperity of all citizens. Sorry, I read that twice. So what does that mean then? Let's have a look at this one. How China is using social credit scores to reward and punish its citizens. Yep. Yi Qingyu has a lot going for her. She won a scholarship to China's prestigious Shushan University, where she graduated with a master's in graphic design. She drives an Audi A4 and owns a penthouse apartment on the outskirts of the provincial capital, Chengdu. Vacations are spent touring Japan, Thailand and the US. Little wonder Yi is an 805. That's the score assigned to Yi by Sesame Credit, which is run by Jack Ma's online shopping empire, Alibaba, placing the 22-year-old near the top of the scheme's roughly 500 million strong user base. Sesame determines credit scores ranking from 350 to a theoretical 950, depending on 1,000 variables across 5 datasets, according to the firm. Unlike Western-style credit systems, Sesame takes in a broad range of behaviours, both financial and social, all underwritten by an invisible web of big data. It's the most prominent in a rising network of social credit score systems in China that are dramatically expanding the concept of creditworthiness and raising fears. So, if you're one of these people who've been out rioting, your credit score goes down. If you're one of these people who stayed indoors, like I did, your credit score should go up. That's it, as simple as it. Yeah? But this is all with radio frequency ID. They can download any data they want. They can tell you what you did 3 days beforehand, and they will know exactly what you did. Spooky, isn't it? In 2015, the government set about addressing this by allowing 8 companies, including Sesame Parent, Ant Financial, to run trial commercial credit scores. The official guidance called for a nationwide system that would allow the trustworthy to roam anywhere or everywhere under heaven, while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step, to be in place by 2020. This year, 2020. This has happened. It's there, it's in China. And it very well could be coming to a country near you soon. Untrustworthy persons, blacklisted individuals, cannot make luxury purchases such as high-speed rail, so you can't get on the train, and air tickets or hotel rooms. 5 million people have been barred from high-speed trains and 17 million from flights under the scheme. Demeaning ways they can punish you. Here we go. What's this? China plans to rank all its citizens based on their social credit by 2020. People can be rewarded or punished according to their scores. Yeah. Number 1, banning you from flying or getting the train. So if you live in a certain area in China, you're not allowed out of that area. You have to stay there. Does it sound like something? Lockdown. Yeah? That's lockdown. You're being locked down in your own city. Throttling your internet speed. Everyone's, all the youngsters and that, they want to play games and everything else. Can you imagine you made a mistake and you cost their chance of playing their games because they've slowed your internet speed down to so little that the children have become bored, and then it means you are the reason for it. Banning you or your kids from the best schools. That's right. So you want your son or your daughter to go to a prestigious university or whatever, and the Chinese government says you can't do that. We're not allowed to. Stopping you getting the best jobs. Oh look, there's a job here. I'm qualified for it. But because I made a silly mistake against the state, I'm actually not going to be allowed to do that job. Keeping you out of the best hotels. So you have to go into a slum or whatever. Or stay indoors. Just don't go nowhere. Getting your dog taken away. Listen to this. The eastern Chinese city of Jinan started enforcing a social credit system for dog owners in 2017, whereby pet owners get points deducted if the dog is walked without a leash or causes public disturbances. Facts. Now, you remember the stocks and everything else? Being publicly named as a bad citizen. Publicly. Naming and shaming is another tactic available. A 2016 government notice encourages companies to consult the blacklist before hiring people or giving them contracts. So if you're on that list, you can't get a job. However, people will be notified by the courts before they are added to the list and are allowed to appeal against the decision within 10 days of receiving the notification. Sad, isn't it? So let's get on to something else. Let's get on to Elon Musk. The decisions you make in life are usually done through your optoneurosensory perception. So you see something, you do it. Yeah. You know, the neurons then act, and then you react to that, and you say like, boom. So say for instance, you see a friend of yours being beaten up, and you want to get involved, but you're not too certain about whether you will be doing the right thing. So then you actually turn around and you look at it and you go, hang on a sec, I know. What? Maybe I could intervene. Maybe I could actually turn round and do something about this and help this person and my friend by standing in between. So that means you've made the right decision. You make the wrong decision, then obviously with that system there, you are punished. But Elon Musk has now decided that he wants to. Elon Musk says his Neuralink company will do human brain implants within a year to help cure injuries, and the device could eventually enable symbiosis with AI. What is symbiosis? Listen to this. A relationship of mutual benefit or dependence, or a union for life of certain organisms, each of which is necessary to each other, an intimate vital connection. Yeah. So that way I can mess about with your brain. So say for instance, I could turn around and say to you, you shouldn't be doing that, and I will give you a certain amount of understanding in your brain that every time you see a situation like that, you're not going to do it. I can make you believe that what you're actually doing now is an artificial brain, and it's coming. It's here right now. And I think people will really worry, well, it'll never happen over here. That's a socialist country, China. They do everything different to the rest of the world. Think again. 5G is finally starting to roll out in the UK and across the globe, and it brings with it far, far higher speeds than 4G. But look at this. What's this company called? 6G. Wow, 6G. See that there, what it says there? It says, through this we aim to be Britain's fastest network by 2022. I told you, 2022. Yeah? So what about implants now? Surely people ain't going to go for that. Look at this. 10th of November 2018. Major UK companies prepare to microchip employees. UK companies. British companies are planning to microchip some of their staff in order to boost security and stop them accessing sensitive areas. We don't want you digging deeper than what you actually need to. So say, for instance, you've got these Google rooms. What's being said in another room, we're not going to let you see that. Yeah? That's Google UK. That's any firm. Oh, I want to know how much I'm earning and everything else. I can stop you. I can repress you and say, look, listen, you get your salary at the end of the month. That's it. That's all you get. Biohack's a Swedish company. There we go. They're back again. That provides human chip implants, told the Telegraph it was in talks with a number of UK legal and financial firms to implant staff with the devices. See? Legal, financial. Once it starts there, it's coming to you. Make no mistake about it. It's coming to you. This will be the norm by 2030, I guarantee it. One prospective client, which cannot be named, is a major financial services firm with hundreds of thousands of employees. Who do you think that is? HSBC. No, I've worked that one out myself. Because they have the most employees all over the world. These companies have sensitive documents they are dealing with. No, they're not sensitive. If you turn around and tell someone, you're not allowed to see these documents, they're not going to see them. You can't turn around and say to me, I'm going to microchip you just so you cannot see this piece of paper. That's ridiculous. That's an absolutely ridiculous statement to make. And why do I think this is all going to happen now? Because of what happened concerning a black man who died. Yeah. First, you create a reason to put everyone out of the way while they put these towers up. Yeah. You create a pandemic. From that pandemic, you create a lockdown. From that lockdown, you then create anarchy around the world by having riots. 2 Republican, or I think it was 2, it may have been more, senators went to China to look at this credit scoring system and how they can manipulate what people do in society. They're coming to manipulate every single one of you. You can't do nothing about it. Why? Because everyone gave them the reason to do it. Because now they'll go back and they'll say, look, you see this civil unrest we've got in this country? You see what we've done? We can't stop them. How are we going to make this happen? You microchip every single citizen. You take a socialistic idea and you turn it around and use it yourself. That's a fact. It's coming. Be aware of it. And how do you do it? You insert it like you do with a vaccine. Yeah? They're not that thick, are they, really? And who are they? Elon Musk. Bill Gates. Yeah? They're all the super elites. But they're all tech giants. The whole lot. Stay safe. Remember, it's coming. And there's nothing you can do about it.